to Mr. Investor Real Estate Dojo. Okay? Today what we're going to talk about is what is it subject to. Now, I know all you guys like myself have heard on TV, late night shows, radio, infomercials, things that say, how would you like to buy a house with no money, with no credit? Okay? And they want you to go to some kind of seminar, maybe all day, maybe 2-day boot camp. And you're wondering, does that stuff really works? Now let me shoot straight with you. Yes, you can buy houses with no money down. Yes, you can buy houses with no credit or bad credit. You're 100% right. You can do those things. Alright? This is America, guys. If you're willing to work hard and you're able to think creatively, then you can do anything. Okay? And here's a good situation. What is called a subject to. Now, let me give you a warning though. Even though that you could buy a house with no credit and no money, holding houses, holding real estate costs a lot of money, guys. A lot of money. Let me just give you a couple of examples that things could go wrong from besides vacancies, besides paying electricity and water. Okay? The AC might break. You might have a water leak outside, inside. Your fence might blow down. Just things of that nature. So you're going to need some capital in reserves. Not how much capital, well, it depends how many property you're holding, but I would always highly recommend to my mentor students at least have 15,000, 20,000, minimum 10,000 if you have a lot of experience by now before you buy and hold properties, because it does cost money. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull the curtains back. Let's just dive in there and learn about what these gurus are going to charge you thousands of dollars, weekends and weekend out, while I'm going to teach you in a crash course. And after you learn this, you're able to go out there and make some money for yourself through wholesaling, buying, holding, buying, fixing. It doesn't matter. A subject to is a great vessel to buy property with no money or no credit, even though if you have a lot of money in your bank account or if you have zero money. Okay, it's a very good way to negotiate and structure a deal. Okay, in residential or commercial, it doesn't matter. Okay. now what is a subject to? That's a very good question, and I'm going to define it right now, so listen up. Buying a house subject to just means that the seller transfers the deed into your name and the underlying loan stays in place. Okay, let me put it another way. You buy a house from a seller and the loan and any liens stay in place. So the existing financing stays in place while you buy the property. Now, simply put, let me put it another way, because it's kind of hard to understand that because it sounds too good to be true. Simply, you buy a house from a seller, he gives you the title or the ownership of the property, and you just step into his shoes and you start making monthly payments on the property as if you were the old owner. Simple, guys. Now, that seems hard to believe, but that happens a lot. Okay, and it's called owner financing or creative financing. And there's a lot of different ways to structure a subject to. But let me rephrase it one more time. What is the subject to? Is when the seller conveys or transfers his rights of ownership to you, and you step into the seller's shoes and start making the monthly payments. And the seller's loan, or the existing loan, or the underlying note, all the same words, all the same meaning, I'm helping you learn the vocabulary, stays in place, okay? So the underlying debt, or the underlying note, or the existing financing stays in place, all right? Now, some people ask me, hey Mike, is this legal? So is subject to legal? Okay? Yes, it is. And the simplest way for me to prove my case is that if you go to HUD, which is a government owned, if you want to put it, establishment that makes the rules, on a HUD 1 settlement, line 203, it talks about, there it is, guys. I hope you can see it. Line 203 on a HUD 1 talks about existing loan, taking subject to. Okay? So here's the HUD website, the URL hud.gov. I hope you guys can see that. So I'm just right off this. So if it was illegal, then it wouldn't be on a government form like a HUD 1. Why haven't you heard about it? Why are realtors not talking about it? Why are banks not talking about it? Well, you know, you have to be a sophisticated consumer. You have to be a sophisticated investor. And sophistication comes with a lot of hard work and not being part of the pack or not being part of the herd, okay? And so even some investors or even some attorneys or real estate or some title companies may not fully understand that or may not do these closings. So you have to shop around for title companies, attorneys, lawyers, CPAs, insurance agents that do understand that, okay? Because everybody's not top of the food chain, you know. In any business, there's the 5% that are the real go-getters, and I like to do myself and do business with those 5%ers, okay? So now coming back to a subject two, what is a subject two? We already defined it. We buy the property, we get ownership, we start making payments on the property. Is it legal? I already answered that question for you.